The purpose of this lesson is to look at what happens after checking in and finding the situation unit. I will cover establishing workspace, hardware and software needs, and incident situation and incident communication. After check-in, ask for the location of the situation unit or the plans section if they don't know where the situation unit is located. You may be working with one other GISS or several, but either way, try to find an area where you can communicate easily with each other. Try to avoid high traffic areas, as this can certainly lead to distractions. Typically, you'll be working alongside other members of the planning section, such as fire behavior analysts and incident meteorologists, so introduce yourself. After you meet the CITL and other GISSs, the next thing you will do is establish your workspace. You may need to ask for a table or chair to set up your computer on. Make sure you have plenty of space for spreading out papers, monitors, and maps. Keep in mind access to power outlets and printers. Again, try to avoid those high traffic areas. Position your work area to avoid windows behind you, which can create glare on your monitors. Consider using both sitting and standing workstations. Since long hours are a given, it's important to be comfortable and have an ergonomic setup. Most teams have an Incident Technology Support Specialist, an ITSS, to network the business management side of the incident operations. Find out who the ITSS is and introduce yourself. Even if there is an ITSS, you may have to set up some hardware yourself. If there isn't an ITSS on the incident, networking and printer connection skills can be very helpful to know, and you may need to install software or plotter drivers. Ask about network cables and power cords. The team may carry these items, or perhaps they could be borrowed from the home unit. These are also good items to keep in your GISS kit. What hardware you will need beyond your laptop or other hardware that you brought with you? You may have to figure this out when you get there. You may find yourself entering the incident at any phase of the operation. The GISS before you, or the one that you are overlapping your tour of duty with, may take their hardware home with them, leaving you with nothing. The team you are assigned to may have their own hardware. You may come in the middle of the team's rotation, in which case you'll have to reset up shop if they leave. Keep informed on your coworkers' timelines and their tour of duty. And if you need additional printers, plotters, or rental computers, talk with your CITL about ordering these items. Here's a list of potential software applications and accounts you may need. Be sure that the version of ArcGIS Pro you have installed on your laptop is the version approved for this season. You should be prepared to install a different version based on the other GISSs you are working with. If you have a mobile device, you should have field maps and events loaded so you can collect data yourself and/or troubleshoot data collection or licensing issues. You will also need access to several applications and sites, so make sure your usernames and passwords are up to date. If your agency allows, administrator rights on your computer can be very useful as well. Incident situation. Find out the basics of the incident situation from the CITL or the GISS lead if there is one. Specific questions might include, are there public evacuations? Are there special resource management concerns? How far away is the closest adjacent incident? How many acres does the incident involve? What data is currently available? And are there cooperators, and can the cooperators supply any data? Incident communication. You'll communicate with several people on the incident, so be sure to take notes of contact information, phone numbers, emails, etc. Make note of important contacts and understand who works for whom. Use a notebook or notepad to document your interactions on the incident. Inquire if there are any local agencies that may need fire data provided to them. Ask if the public information officer is using any public-facing websites to communicate with the public. Inquire if there are any FTP sites or websites where you could go to download local data. Ask the ITSS about internet connection or check with the host agency if there is no ITSS. There are several sources of fire intelligence available online to provide situational awareness on your fire and even before you leave for an assignment. Find a base data download tool that works for you. The Alert Wildfire Camera Network can provide real-time observations of fires depending on your location. FireGuard data from the Department of Defense can provide near real-time perimeter approximations. The Risk Management Assistance Dashboard provides lots of mapping and weather tools. The National Weather Service's IDSS forecast points provides detailed weather forecasts. WFDS, or the Wildland Fire Decision Support System, is great for planning purposes. Also, the College of DuPage has excellent satellite and radar products for monitoring fire activity. And lastly, flight tracking sites like Flight Radar 24 or FlightAware are good for tracking infrared flights. And of course, use the Wildfire Response GIS Esri community forum to keep informed and post questions to the community. To review, this lesson covered establishing your workspace, hardware and software needs, and incident situation and incident communication.